Imagine waking up in the dead of night, not because of a nightmare, but because you need to relieve yourself. You step outside your home, grateful for the cool night air, when suddenly a swarm of angry bees descends upon you, stinging you over and over again. You flail and scream, swatting at the air as the pain intensifies. Then everything goes black. That wasn't a dream, but a terrifying reality for countless individuals trapped within the sinister confines of Unit 7. Established in the early 1930s, Unit 731 was a top-secret Japanese military biological and chemical warfare research facility operating during the Second World War, tucked away in the northeastern region of Manchuria, an area under Japanese control. This nefarious organization masked its true nature behind a facade of being a water purification facility. However, behind closed doors, it was a hub of horrifying experiments and sinister activities that would make even the most jaded individual shudder. The primary objective of Unit 731 was to develop biological weapons, primarily anthrax, plague, cholera, and smallpox, which could be utilized against the Japanese Empire's enemies. But the methods employed were not just barbaric, they were next-level diabolical. Victims were deliberately infected with these diseases and closely monitored, not because it was a kind and gentle observation, but because the scientists wanted to understand the progression of the illnesses. It was a twisted form of medical study, devoid of any ethical considerations. Imagine being locked up in a cold, damp room, the walls closing in on you as you slowly succumb to a terrible disease, all while being observed by people who have no intention of helping you. The mere thought is enough to send chills down your spine. Unit 731 was responsible for infecting countless individuals with these deadly diseases, and the experiments didn't stop there. Prisoners were subjected to horrific tests to determine the effects of extreme temperatures on the human body, to study frostbite. They were also exposed to new and untested bacteria strains to track the progress of the resulting illnesses. These experiments were not performed on animals or inanimate objects. They were carried out on real human beings, men, women, and even children, who were treated as disposable commodities rather than fellow human beings. What made the situation even more eerie was the stark contrast between the outer workings of the facility and the gruesome activities taking place within. Life for the staff and their families, stationed at Unit 731, was almost idyllic. Officers played tennis, children attended school, and families enjoyed dinner parties together, completely oblivious to or perhaps willfully ignorant of the torture happening just a few hundred meters away. Children even played near the crematorium, their laughter echoing over the site where their peers were being burned to death. Such a jarring contrast between life and death, normalcy and horror. The Japanese military's support for Unit 731 stemmed from its expansionist ambitions. With territorial conquests came the need for dominance, and with dominance came the desire for every possible advantage. Biological warfare was seen as the ultimate tool to cripple the enemy and secure victory. The military's backing gave Unit 731 a free hand to operate, aided by the fact that the victims were largely prisoners of war or civilians captured in occupied territories. There was no oversight, no ethics board, and no consideration given to the sanctity of human life. In their quest to acquire dominance, Unit 731 became a hub of activity. By the early 1940s, the facility was producing biological weapons capable of mass destruction. Plague-infected fleas were bred in massive numbers and dropped from planes onto Chinese villages, causing widespread panic and death. The detachment with which these attacks were carried out is truly chilling. It was not just about testing weapons. It was about inflicting maximum damage and suffering on civilian populations. Lives were seen as expendable, their deaths mere numbers in the pursuit of a greater goal. As the Second World War drew to a close and the Allies closed in on Japan, the severity of Unit 731's activities became a matter of grave concern. To protect their inhumane work and secure their own interests, the Japanese military took drastic measures. When the Red Army approached the facility, they evacuated, leaving behind piles of corpses and abandoned research notes. Some researchers perished, others fled, and a lucky few escaped prosecution by leaving Japan entirely. The Allied victory brought with it the promise of justice and accountability for the atrocities committed during the war. However, when it came to Unit 731, justice seemed to take a back seat. Following the surrender of Japan, the victorious powers, particularly the United States, were presented with a choice. They could prosecute the scientists involved in Unit 731 for their heinous crimes, or they could grant them immunity in exchange for their research data. Shockingly, the US chose the latter. Many of the scientists and personnel walked free, some even receiving generous compensation packages and lifetime employment offers. A handful faced trial, but most were able to escape justice, allowing them to live out their lives with the knowledge that they had evaded accountability for their actions. The secrecy surrounding Unit 731 only added to its notoriety. Whispers of its existence circulated among those who knew of its activities, but concrete evidence was hard to come by. The few survivors who managed to escape the facility's horrors were often too traumatized to speak of their experiences, and those who did were frequently not believed. Decades passed and the world moved on, but the shadow of Unit 731 loomed large, a constant reminder of the depths to which humanity can sink. It was only in the following decades that the full extent of Unit 731's atrocities began to emerge. Survivors and their families emerged from the shadows, sharing their harrowing tales in hopes of seeking justice and closure. Their stories painted a grim picture of a world turned upside down, where human life meant nothing in the face of unchecked ambition and misguided scientific progress. Today, the legacy of Unit 731 continues to resonate, not just in the historical narrative, but in the hearts and minds of those who suffered and the world that failed to hold the perpetrators accountable. It serves as a stark reminder of the darkness that can lurk in the human psyche and the importance of vigilance against such horrors ever repeating themselves. In Japan, the story of Unit 731 is still not widely taught in schools, and official recognition of the crimes has been limited, leading to a sense of collective amnesia about this dark chapter in history. This lack of acknowledgement has left many survivors and their families feeling unheard and seeking justice. Activists and historians are working tirelessly to keep the memory of the victims alive, and to ensure that their stories are told. For those who survived the horrors of Unit 731, the road to healing has been long and arduous. Many have struggled with physical and psychological trauma, trying to piece together their lives after experiencing the darkest depths of human cruelty. The emotional toll of reliving their experiences and seeking justice has been immense. The world's reaction to the revelations about Unit 731 was one of shock and disbelief. Many found it hard to comprehend the extent of the atrocities committed, while others grappled with the fact that those responsible had largely escaped justice. The international community was faced with a moral dilemma, questioning how such horrors could have been concealed for so long, and debating the ethical implications of the US government's decision to grant immunity to the scientists involved. Despite the challenges, survivors and their families have shown remarkable resilience. They have fought tirelessly to uncover the truth, break the silence, and seek recognition for their suffering. Their bravery in sharing their stories has helped to raise awareness about Unit 731 and the urgent need for accountability. In the face of these revelations, it is essential for the international community to take action, holding perpetrators accountable, providing support to survivors, and ensuring that such atrocities are never repeated are all crucial steps towards justice. Acknowledging the horrors of Unit 731 and learning from this dark chapter in history is vital for preventing similar abuses of power and scientific knowledge in the future. As we reflect on the harrowing experiences of those affected by Unit 731, let us remember that each individual has a story worth telling. Their voices deserve to be heard, and their strength and resilience should be celebrated. It is through their courage that we can continue to learn, grow, and strive for a better future. The story of Unit 731 serves as a chilling reminder of the lengths to which unchecked ambition and scientific progress can lead. It compels us to confront uncomfortable truths and to continually work towards a world that values human life, dignity, and justice above all else.